Good evening everyone, what is up? It's Fana, how are you doing today? Thought I'd go through the changes that are on the PTR right now. So on a PTR, which is the test realm where they test changes before they put them onto the main server, they're being very experimental this time. They're trying to push some more crazier things that they haven't tested in the past, and some of it might not go through to the main server, whereas in the past, a lot of the changes that have been on the PTR have generally gone over to the main server as well. So let's jump into this real quick. Here's the first one. Dealing damage to non-players, like Torbjorn's turret or Symmetra's teleporter, no longer charges ultimate abilities. So this was a thing where you could just like pick away at a Torbjorn turret and you would just charge your ultimate on it and it'd be like, that's weird. Okay. So I kind of like this change. Torbjorn and Symmetra have been struggling a bit. So I think it's a good direction for both of those. Here's the big one though. Ultimate costs have been increased by 25% for all heroes. Now, the theory behind this is that right now, in the current meta game, at the high level, a lot of the game comes down to using ultimates and coordinating ultimates. And a lot of games are decided on those ultimate battles. And the idea behind this is that you're going to play slower games that isn't all about ultimates, but more about picking people off and gaining advantage through smaller things rather than those big flashy engagements. So the idea of this is fantastic, I think. I don't think anybody really likes when whole games are decided on just ultimates, and it will be nice if this can send things down the direction of people playing slower, for picks, more positional based. So I really like that change. D.Va. D.Va is the first hero to see some changes here. The Mech health increased to 200, formerly 100. Armor remains at 400, and movement speed while firing has been increased by 25%. So they've been struggling with D.Va for quite a while now. She's been in an awkward situation where they kind of made her really strong, and then they pulled her back a bit. But the main problem with D.Va is that she gets shredded by Zarya. And the reasoning for that is simply because Zarya's laser goes through the defense matrix. Zarya has one of the strongest ultimates in the game, and she's like the biggest pick right now. I don't think this change is really going to help D.Va out. I think she's still going to get shredded by Zarya, but there is a Zarya change coming as well, which I'll talk about in a bit, which may help D.Va out in a different way. Soldier 76, his pulse rifle damage increased from 17 to 20. That sounds really strong on its own, but listen to the next change as well. Maximum bullet spread increased from 2.2 to 2.4. So both of these changes together basically mean that he has more burst damage straight off with his first shots, but then his shots spread out further. So controlling his weapon on this patch is more important than ever, and he does more damage initially. So the idea is that if you learn to control the weapon better, you will do more damage, and it allows him to burst damage a lot heavier as well. So it brings him on to the level of McCree a lot more, where if he instantly hits 3 headshots now, he will be doing 60 damage. So that's pretty big considering his fire rate. And I think it's a good change. Soldier 76 has kind of been pushed out of the meta. With McCree being so popular. McCree is kind of just, they're both kind of similar heroes, but McCree can generally beat Soldier in a 1v1. And they're finding it hard to get the balance between Soldier and McCree. And I think this is a step in the right direction. I don't know if it's going to be a complete step in the right direction, because McCree will probably still beat him in most engagements except the longer range ones. Ana is next. Nano boost no longer increases move speed. There's going to be a lot of people who are happy to hear this one. Ana Boost is solidified in the metagame right now. She's the biggest support pick alongside Lucio. And a lot of games are decided on Nano Boosts. And not only that, it's not fun to play against, because if a Reaper gets Nano Boosted, for example, there's not much you can do about it. You can sleep data, but that means that Ana basically gets countered by Ana, and then anything else, you can stop it with other things, like you can do a Graviton Surge, you can May Freeze, you can Flashbang, which only helps a little bit, but the sheer damage that combo puts out and other Ana combos is just ridiculous. So just removing the move speed completely is a great thing. I even suggested it on my stream sometime, just remove the remove speed. And I think it's a perfect change. I think it'll bring Ana down nicely to the level of other supports. Mei, Blizzard, the ultimate cost has been increased by 15%. I like it. You know I hate Mei, but this is not a biased opinion. I think her ultimate after the patch with the radius increase is just absolutely ridiculous. And the speed that she charges it is insane. Like sometimes when you're against a defensive Mei, it feels like she has her ultimate every single fight. And it's way too powerful of an ultimate to have every single fight. I honestly think it's going to get pulled back even more at some point. Like, I think the radius is going to get brought down by like 1, possibly. But this is a step in the right direction. I like it. Next up is Lucio with Amp It Up. Healing per second has been decreased by 10%. So what they're trying to do with this is they're trying to bring Lucio down a bit to the level of other supports, try and get him picked less. And the reason is because Lucio has been picked every single, well, not every single game, but he's been super high pick rate since he ever entered the game back in closed beta. He's never not been at the top of high percentage of picking. And I don't think this is the right change. I think this is completely the wrong idea. But it's hard to bring Lucio online with the other supports because the reason why he's powerful is speed boost. And last patch, they already did a big nerf to speed boost. Taking his healing down by 10% is really small, and it's not going to affect much because people pick him for the speed boost. The only way that Lucio, in my opinion, is going to be picked less than other supports or on the same level as other supports is if they do a massive nerf to the speed boost, which would just ruin Lucio, or another hero enters the game that has something similar to speed boost where you can just make plays, because that's what Lucio does. Speed boost makes plays. Or the game slows down enough that you don't actually need to use speed boost. But I can't see that happening. It's just too useful. With Zarya, both of their barriers have got decreased. The power gain is decreased by 20%. This is a big nerf. So basically, each barrier can now only gain 40 instead of 50. So if you full charge both barriers, you'll end up with 80 energy, which is a lot less than before. Obviously, you'd have 100, which doesn't sound like a lot initially, but as that's going on throughout the entire game, you're going to be getting less and less and less and less charge. You'll be getting less ultimate. You'll be doing less damage. Like, she's so much about that charge. So it's honestly hard to say how much this is going to impact Zarya. But I think it might be a little bit too much. I think reducing it by 10% might be the way to go. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see where this goes. I don't like Zarya nerfs because Zarya she's a heavy pick right now. And a lot of people think she's overpowered. But the reason why I like Zarya in the game as a pick is because she makes it very fun. She's a very interactive hero that has a high skill floor. It takes a lot of skill to play her really well, and I think she's just great for the game all around. So I don't really like seeing a nerf because I don't think she's at the point where she's like, oh my god, she's so overpowered that we have to pick her all the time, and she just breaks the game, and it's just unbelievably stupid. I think she's good. I don't think she deserves this. Torbjorn. Alright, some big changes here. Scrap is now automatically generated over time. The amount of scrap collected from a fallen enemy is being decreased by 40%. Forge hammer swing speed increased by 25%, and the damage decreased on the hammer by 27% because of the speed increase. So the speed increase means he can build his turret faster, and now basically he passively generates scrap instead of picking it up mostly. This is a weird change because Torbjorn is meant to be about going around and picking up scrap so he can do his stuff. So it's not Torbjorn-y, but it's kind of necessary because the problem with Torbjorn right now, and most of the reason why he's weak, is because he has no movement ability, but then he has to move in deep to pick up scrap, which can put him in a lot of danger. So this does fix Torbjorn, in my opinion. It makes him, like, if they just adjust this until he's strong, like they can just keep doing that, he will get strong. Like, armor is powerful. And I like it. It's not very Torbjorn-esque. So that's weird. Next update, another Diva update. Core Mech ultimate costs have been decreased by 20%. This reduces the cost back down to what it was before the global ultimate cost change. So, like I said before... Wait, I didn't say this before. I tried to record this video before and then my SD card broke. But in the last video when I talked about ultimate charge being changed, I was talking about the fact that it's such a big change. While it's good in theory, it's hard to see where it's going to go. Some heroes are going to benefit from it, some heroes are not going to benefit from it, and it's hard to see exactly where such a big change like a global 25% ultimate charge rate goes. And obviously they've decided that Diva was a little bit too weak on her ultimate with that charge rate, so that has been brought down. Not sure what to think about it. Widowmaker Venom Mine Explosion no longer damages the player who placed the mine, so makes sense. She can't kill herself anymore with a Venom Mine. Pharah Rocket Launcher minimum explosion damage has been increased to 25% of rocket's total damage, formerly 12%. Minimum explosion knockback damage... minimum explosion knockback has been decreased to 0% of rocket's total knockback, formerly 75%. So basically what this means is she does more damage with rockets and way less knockback. There's been a lot of talk on this one, and there's been a lot of talk about how it reduces the skill level of Pharah, and I kind of agree with it. She just does more pure damage, but you don't have the skill of knocking people around and placing rockets carefully so they knock into a specific position, which is like a high level skill with Pharah. Also, I think that you can't rocket jump like you used to, which was another big skill of Pharah. You can only use it with the concussive now. So if it takes away from the skill level of Pharah, I don't like it. Mercy passive health regeneration now kicks in when Mercy avoids taking damage for 1 second, formerly 3 seconds. Now Mercy is considered the weakest support right now at the top level. I agree with that, because she's really easy to kill. Her ultimate is not, well, because she's easy to kill, her ultimate, or her entire kit is not that strong in comparison to some supports. Zenyatta can do a load of damage. His ultimate can stop Zarya ultimate. Like if you get Zarya ulted and you pop a Zenyatta ultimate, you stop people from dying, whereas Mercy comes in and she reses them after they died, which is worse than just saving them in the first place. And she has to hide to do it. She's also the easiest to kill. So she kind of sucks. Now this change here, where she heals faster, 1 second instead of 3, in theory it makes sense to keep her alive, but the problem is, I don't feel like it's going to help. Like if I'm playing Tracer, and I play Tracer a lot, and I jump on Mercy, and I unload one clip, and then she kind of gets away, like she's got like 10 HP or something, I don't feel like I'm going to be waiting an entire second before going to blast her again. So it might help a little bit, but I don't think it's going to help that much. So I think Mercy might need something else to bring her up a bit. Possibly a lower cooldown on Guardian Angel, which is the flying ability. And that would be nice. But overall, all of these changes, in a nutshell, I like them. I like the way they're going. None of them are huge, except for the ultimates have been increased by 25%. And I think they generally have the right idea. So I'm pretty happy with all of these. And again, not all of them are going to go onto the main server, but I think it's good. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about the changes in the comments below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.